50,000 years ago, something died here. It didn't decay, it didn't dissolve. The cold came fast enough to stop all of that. The cold simply pressed pause. For millennia, the ground beneath Siberia was the most secure vault on Earth. Not built by engineers, not protected by locks or codes, but by cold, permanent cold, the kind that doesn't negotiate, the kind that doesn't thaw, or so we thought. We call it permafrost, ground that was, by definition, permanent. Today, that word is becoming fiction. The active layer of permafrost, the soil that once stayed frozen year-round, is sinking. In some regions, it has retreated by meters in a single generation. We are watching the world's most ancient archive break apart in real time. We are witnessing the largest, most uncontrolled excavation in human history, and we are uncovering things that were never meant to see the sun again. The expedition team didn't go to Siberia looking for treasure. They went looking for the architecture of the past. The hidden biological record written into the Yodoma, the ancient ice-rich soil of the Pleistocene epoch. 16 meters below the surface, in sediment that had not been exposed to the atmosphere since the last ice age, they found something that defied easy categorization. Not bacteria, not fungi, viruses. But not any virus we easily recognize. Pythovirus, Pandora virus. Giant viruses, these are not like influenza. These are not like the rhinovirus that causes the common cold. They are physical titans of the viral world. So large they are visible under a standard light microscope. They carry more genetic complexity than many cellular organisms. And in the sediment of the Siberian Yodoma, they had been waiting. In a controlled laboratory environment, the scientists performed what they called a reanimation experiment. They introduced the ancient specimens to living amoeba hosts. The scientific expectation was ambiguous. Would anything actually happen after 50 millennia? The answer arrived quickly and without ambiguity. The viruses were still infectious. They were not zombies clawing back from the dead. They were not damaged or degraded. They were biological machines that had simply been waiting for the environment to become hospitable once more. 50,000 years of patience, and the planet had finally cooperated. The mechanism of dormancy. To understand why this is possible, we need to understand what the permafrost actually does to a biological entity. Think of it less as a graveyard and more as a time capsule with perfect environmental control. When a virus enters a state of cryptobiosis, its metabolism doesn't slow down. It stops completely. There is no decay because there is no process generating decay. The viral particle becomes, in essence, a husk of pure genetic information, a biological blueprint waiting for the right conditions to execute. The permafrost acts as the perfect natural freezer, but it goes beyond simple cold storage. The pressure of the ice above, the absence of oxygen, the lack of liquid water, these factors combine to create an environment of extraordinary preservation. Not just for viruses, for bacteria, for cellular material, for everything that was alive when the ice closed over it. For decades, scientists assumed that viral particles, especially complex ones, could not survive geological timescales intact. The discovery of viable ancient viruses forced a fundamental reassessment of that assumption. The question is no longer whether ancient pathogens can survive. We know they can. The question now is, Which ones are down there and what do they infect? The viruses discovered so far, pythovirus, pandoravirus, mollyvirus, they target amoeba, simple single-celled organisms. They are not, to our current knowledge, infectious to mammals. But these are only the specimens we have studied. They are the first pages of a library that runs 50,000 years deep. We have learned that the ice is not a cemetery, it is a waiting room, and the planet is getting warmer. The industrial catalyst. The melting permafrost is not waiting for a distant future. It is being accelerated right now by the machines we send north. The global demand for minerals, lithium, nickel, copper, rare earths, has pushed industrial extraction into Arctic territories that were, until recently, inaccessible. Every excavator bucket, every core sample, every meter of pipeline driven into Arctic ground, each one is a potential incision into biological history that has been sealed for longer than our species has existed. And unlike the careful, controlled conditions of a research laboratory, where scientists use sealed chambers, protective equipment, and containment protocols, industrial extraction operates at a scale and speed where containment is not even part of the conversation. Scientists issue a stark warning. We have no historical data for the pathogens trapped in these deeper, undisturbed layers. We have no immune memory, no prior exposure. The human immune system, refined over hundreds of thousands of years co-evolution with the pathogens of our own era, has never encountered the biology of the late Pleistocene. We have, in immunological terms, no defenses against what we are digging up. In 2016, the Yamal Peninsula in Siberia experienced its first anthrax outbreak in 75 years. The cause? A thaw. Permafrost retreated far enough to expose the carcass of a reindeer that had died of anthrax in the 1940s. The spores, viable after decades frozen, re-entered the environment. 12 people were hospitalized. Over 2,000 reindeer were killed. One child died. This was not a scenario from a science fiction film. This already happened. The ice is a library. Every ice core is a sentence, every layer of sediment a paragraph. It is the record of everything that lived, breathed, and died on this planet before we became the dominant species. For the first time in history, we have developed the technology to actually read these books. But as we stand at the edge of the thaw, we are forced to confront a singular, unsettling truth. We are digging in the dark, and we have no idea what we are going to find next.